What's going on, everybody? It's MrAeroHD here. We are here with a really squeaky chair, and I almost said Forza. Ask Aero. I haven't done one of these in a while, and somebody was bugging me in one of my videos. Hey, when are you going to do that? And now, it's a day late, and a buck short, and I'm riding the I'm sorry. It is a day late. It's probably going to go up around noon Eastern time, a day late, but reason is I just didn't feel like making one, and then I got my new job here that's kind of kicking me in the ass because it's the holiday season, but I found some time, so let's go ahead and do this. I just posted on Facebook as well that I was taking questions now. So some of these are going to be quick, some of these I'm going to probably make fun of because they're stupid questions, but initially visually changed a lot from the first stage to the final stage. Which stage is your favorite? I don't personally have a favorite stage. I love Initial D, don't get me wrong, but I'm not as big of a fan to say, oh, I love the art style of the this and the blah, you know. I definitely like how it looks in the newer ones. I'm just looking up pictures on Google just for reference. The animation definitely improved, though. I still like the classic. The classic look of the older stuff, and the storylines I think were a little bit better, even though like I don't think anybody watched Initial D for the storylines. So what the fuck episode is it? 64. Nintendo 64. Yeah, sorry about that. There you go. Nope, not on Twitter. There we go. All right. So, have you heard of the Devil 16? And how much crack do you think the PR team smoked up to come with its performance stats? Not heard the Devil 16. It's spelled D-E-V-E-L. I don't know if that's... no, it is not a typo. It looks like a Veneno. Apparently it has 5,000 horsepower and a V16. Well... does it exist? Is it real? You know, that'd be cool if it was real. Apparently, it has a top speed of 348 mile. Wow. Okay. I can't wait till that's like reviewed and like in the public eye. Apparently, there's a couple videos like I can see them Google search. Hey, cat. Welcome to the cat fucking photobomb in the video too. If you see my hand moving around, or if you see him, he's about to walk into the shot. Oh, maybe not make me look stupid. Nope. Okay. I don't know. It looks cool, but I mean, a lot of companies, like I'm pretty sure, like I saw on Top Gear like 2 years ago, there's a car company that was like top speed, wanted to shoot for like a 2,000 horsepower top speed. What comedy shows on TV do you watch? I don't actually watch TV. I put all my money instead into my internet connection, which is why I have like I stream in such high quality. But yeah, I don't actually watch TV at all. In terms of comedy shows I've been watching lately, I've been going back and watching Whose Line Is It Anyway? Love that show, the American one for all you UK elitists. Top Gear is kind of a comedy show, but I like a lot of stand-up. I like George Carlin, Chris Rock, Gabriel Iglesias in his early days. His new stuff's not as funny, especially well, it's still funny. It's just not as funny. Russell Peters too, same deal. His old stuff was funny. His new stuff's not that great. You know, Jim Carrey, stuff like that. In terms of comedy shows, I can't really think of any off the top of my head. If that changes, I'll let you know. What do you do for a living? I work at a movie theater. Actually, funny story about that. Somebody recognized me while I was working at the theater. I was midway through giving him his drink, and he's like, "Do you make YouTube videos?" I was like, yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, I know who you are," or whatever. I was like, "Oh, cool." I mean, like, if I was busy, if he wasn't busy, like we were shooting the shit. He hit me up on Twitter too, cool kid. But yeah, so I do this on the side. I get very, very little money from this, especially after I fucked myself with the whole taking a year off thing. And yeah, I work at a theater, and I have student loans and stuff, but I don't do anything for a living right now. It's all pretty much placeholder jobs, I hope. I hope I'm not a lifer at a goddamn movie theater. Who do you think is more exciting for participating and spectating? Drifting or grip racing? I'm gonna tell you right now. This is gonna be an unpopular opinion. You guys aren't expect this from me. You should. A lot of you should, because I talk about my personal preferences with this shit all the time. But spectating, drifting, no question. It's over quickly. It's not like a NASCAR race where it's like 4 hours of nothing and then like 20 minutes of something. Same thing with F1. You know, it's all exciting all day. I went to a drift event before. I went to Road Atlanta last year. You know, we was there for 6 to 8 hours of the day, and it was, you know, if you get bored, you go down in the pits and you talk to some of the drivers. It's so much fun. Participating, I'd rather think I'd be a GT3 driver over a drifter any day of the week. I've done drifting not on a track and not with like a drift car. I'd love to. That's the life goal. But you know, with trucks in the snow and and I've had way more thrills and like way more hair stand up on my hand, on my arms, on my neck in karting. You know, for 20 minutes of knowing there's a guy right behind you, or you're trying to work to catch the guy in front of you. I feel like there's a lot more adrenaline in actual racing than drifting. I do love both sports to death. Don't get me wrong. But yeah. What car would you say has the douchiest drivers? Okay, after moving, I used to live in a small town, and then in the small town it was trucks. Lifted trucks, Fords, Chevys, Dodges, Toyotas, all of them. All of you guys were douchebags. If you're anyone who's watching this video, anybody with a lifted truck. A couple of guys were okay. I know a guy, I don't know what his YouTube channel is, but he's gonna know that I'm talking about him now that I say it out loud if he watches this. He was like a guy I met at Tim Hortons locally one day. He was a cool dude. He had like his truck game, but everybody that cut me off, everybody that like was honking and whatever, every douchebag driver on the road drove some sort of like 1990 Chevy lifted fucking diesel bucket of shit. Now that I moved to a bigger city, you know, with over almost a million people in it, douchebag drivers, it's different from a bad driver, because if it was a bad driver, it'd be a Toyota Camry every day of the week. I'd get cut off by some old lady or some person who doesn't look like they're paying attention in a Camry all the time, an older Camry, like an early 2000s Camry. But douchey? It's funny because I have a story about a BMW, and then I have a story about an Audi, which was what I'm tied with. The Audi guy, actually, now that I think about it, was way more douchey. Basically, he was stuck behind a guy that was turning left. I was coming up in the right lane, you know, because I'd seen this happen like way far back, and then he tried to cut over. So I slammed my brakes, and then when he started cutting over, he stopped. He started letting me go, so I started going, and then he's cut in front of me again, so I honked on the horn. He raced me up this street, tried to pull next to me, so I pulled next to the traffic, and I was holding him like this, so he was behind me, and me and the other guy were like this. So I was sitting there holding him behind me. He pulls out, when he has the chance at a red light, he pulls, does this, goes to the window, and starts flipping me off and try to chat me through the window. So, like, it was in the middle of winter, so I had my, oh, not middle of winter, but it was cold, so I had my window up. So all I did was just look right and sit there like this. And I didn't make eye contact with him, and then I hear him, like, peel out. Some dude in, like, douchebag in an RS4. BMWs, I see it's more minor, but definitely the Audis, after that, was probably the biggest, D-bag thing I've ever seen on the road. What is one thing you love about the car scene, and what's one thing you hate about it? They're gonna be totally polar opposites, but just bear with me. I love the car scene. I love the car scene for basically any community that does this. It's a sense of family. You know, you're a bunch of people that all have like-minded interests and all have the same, relatively the same interests. And I mean, like, I went to the States, right? I went to the South, like, and I've never been I've been out of the country once, but I've been on a resort in Mexico, so I don't even count that. I've never traveled on my own. It's my first time being on my own, on traveling. And it was just, I thought I was gonna get there and people, I was being super flamboyant. I was wearing a Jerome McGinley Canadian national hockey team jersey, and my girlfriend had like the Canadian flag tied around her neck, and we were super flamboyant. I thought like we were gonna get like chastised and people were gonna look at us funny and be like, who the fuck are these guys? Everybody talked to us. Everybody, oh man, you're from Canada, whatever, what do you drive, what do you this, what do you this? And I was so embarrassed because all these people down there have like S14s, S13s, they're all built. My buddy that I was staying with has a turbo KA at 240, and it's so cool compared to what the fuck I drive. I'm like, oh, I just drive like a Accord, it's stock, it's an automatic, gets me from point A to point B, and it's really nice inside. But I mean, that's what I got, and everyone's like, oh, cool, man, that's all right. Who cares? You know, the difference. You don't have to. And then like they start talking about parts and like, oh, brake solenoid, and I'm like, I just like cars, man. Like I don't shoot. I'm knowledgeable enough to hold down a conversation, but when you start talking about like how to replace the internals of your, or how to replace your flywheel and all the shit that comes off, I'm like, oh god, I'm not as mechanically knowledgeable. And I told people that, and I figured like, oh man, they're gonna like out me as like a fucking pretend car fan. I'm like, no, it's fine. You know, different stroke, different folks. So many nice people. And so welcoming, and just you have that one thing in common. It's like if you go to a club at school, you know, if you join like the anime club or like the football team or whatever, everybody's kind of got something in common, so it breaks the ice that much quicker. Especially with drift fans, man. Like, I don't know, we felt like by the end of that Saturday night, I felt like I knew everybody already, and I only been there talking to people for like a day. The thing I don't like about the car scene, and it's gonna sound really hypocritical, but there's a lot of elitism. There's stance people hating on different, you know, the Honda guys hate on Volkswagen, and Volkswagen hate on Honda, and truck guys hate on stance guys, and stance guys hate on truck guys, and drifters don't like that, and these guys, drag racers don't like them drifters, them Nissans are skid racing, you know, fucking. There's so much hate, and I mean, some of it is to me warranted, like those people who run camber like this. Like, I don't understand. But there's a lot of things like stance. You know, I don't necessarily understand it, or drag racing. We'll take that for example. I don't necessarily understand it. I don't see why somebody would enjoy it, but that's not up to me. You know, some people do some really fucking cool drag cars. You know what I mean? Some 60s Camaro, Chevelles, Novas, and stuff with huge engines, like pushing 1,500 horsepower, getting like 9 second quarter miles. It's like nothing I'd be interested in doing myself. You know, I might take the car to the drag strip once or twice, and woohoo, look at me, and then that's about it. You know, I'm a circuit guy and a drifting guy. That's what I do. That's what I prefer. But I can kind of see it. You know, it's what you like to do. It's fun. There's the D-bags and stuff that don't get that luxury for me, like ricers and truck ricers, which is the same fucking thing except for they have stupid dual exhaust and think that diesel's the coolest thing ever, which is stupid. But yeah, so I mean, there you go. That was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. 11 questions to go. Oh, they're still coming in. Great. What do you think about me putting a 2JZ in a Volvo Amazon? Probably a lot cooler than what I'm driving. If you can pull it off, dude, more power to you. That sounds like a really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. Wow. Really fucking cool swap. This is a good question. Had Forza never been made, would you ever pursue YouTube? Taking this deeper, would you have ever discovered or became passionate about drifting cars? And if not, would you consider following your passion for music opposed to cars? I was already making YouTube videos before Forza. Some of you don't know my backstory that far, and that's cool because this is like 4 years ago now. I used to produce content for a community channel. It's not a community channel anymore, called We Capture the Frag. The guy who was running it at the time, who just runs the channel on his own now, Tony Pizza Guy, had approached me, saw my content. I was doing retro games at the time. I was playing like F-Zero and like Mario Kart, and he's like, yo man, you're really good, but you need more seat time as a content creator. You need more voices to tell you what you're doing right and you're doing wrong. Why don't you upload for my channel? I was like, okay, great. So I started doing that, and I almost completely ignored my channel at the time. I bought a Dazzle, which was a standard definition capture card. I started uploading. If you guys go back and watch some of my Forza 3 videos, you'll see some of them look like shit. It's because I was using that Dazzle. I started doing COD commentaries, which I still would love to do, but nobody watches them, and I'm not good at Call of Duty anymore. But it was such a great way. If you haven't realized already, I'm really opinionated, and I really like shooting the shit, like, or just talking. Which is why I became a commentator. But there's a lot of, you know, the means when it, like, over a Call of Duty commentary, it's just like, sweet, I have like 10 minutes to say whatever I want because nobody cares what's happening in the background. I like that idea back in the day when that was popular. Would I have been as passionate about drifting in cars? Absolutely. You know, before I even had a 360, I slept, and bled racing and driving. Drifting, maybe not so much. I did a lot of drifting in like Gran Turismo games, but even if you don't take that into consideration, I wasn't big into it until Forza 2, when I got into that community and then really just said, you know what, these people are really cool, they're really interesting, I want to get good at this, so, you know, I can be part of what they're part of. So that's why I dumped so many hours into being good at Forza 2, and then Forza 3, and then getting on teams, and getting on really good teams, and but I'll always would have been into cars. That none of that would have changed. Maybe I'd be like a domestic fan. Maybe I'd be, you know, super into Camaros or something. Maybe that wouldn't be the same. But I tell you right now, at the age of like 3, I was collecting NASCAR like it was my NASCAR little diecast, like it was my day job. I must have had like over 500 little Matchbox cars, not just NASCARs, but like cars in total. Would I consider following my passion for music? I love music. Don't get me wrong. You get me start talking about electronic music, I'll chat your fucking ear off. But especially now, there's so not a lot to talk about or feel about it. You know, I don't listen to as much music as I did because it's like the scene has gone to shit. You know, I don't go to shows because I don't like the people who go to shows. With some exceptions. Anybody in the Toronto area that's going to be going to that the government closing of Deadmau5, I will be there. You know, let's hang out. Yeah, no, I think cars was always going to be what my life was going to be about. So thanks, man. That was a really awesome question. Asked 17 days ago. How many subscribers did you have when you partnered with GT Channel? I'm trying to make more car videos, but I have less than 20 subs. The worst you can do is apply when it comes to GT Channel. I've seen people that have like 100 subs get a partnership just because they put out a lot of videos. Not a lot of videos, but they're putting out videos consistently and they were good. It wasn't like, you know, someone recording their screen or something. I think I probably had about 15K at the time, or maybe 18. I haven't grown that much in the past year, so I was probably, you know, nudging 17. But I had been partnered with Machinima since I had about 5,000, if not less than that. So, you know, you never know. The worst you can do is apply, and they say no, and you apply again, and you know, in a couple months, if you decide to do that, or you know, go with another company. I'm you know, totally partial to GT Channel. I'll stick up with them for every day, but you know, they have really good. As a content creator, I can tell you right now, it's not just the money. The fact that I make money from videos, that has me staying there. There's so much other things that those guys do. They work their asses off for their partners. So give it a shot. You know, use me as your referral. That'd be cool. Somebody here a week ago posted a link to basically their group page. Don't do that. Fuck off. If you do that, you'll be blocked. And I'm definitely not going to be promoting your page if that's what you thought I was going to do. What do you think, who has the best practice? This guy doesn't speak English, which is cool, so we're going to have to interpret his thing a little bit. Chris Forsberg is better, who drifts in FD USA and who bashes missile cars, or Osbo, this guy's probably Norwegian, who drives professionally tuned drift cars on 3 continents. I mean, they're both good in their own right. I mean, if you look at FD this year, they were only a couple points in between each other. You know, Osbo could have won the whole damn thing. He was this close. But I just think, you know, I think Chris is just solid. but he cracks under pressure sometimes, and Osbo is the same. But I feel like when Osbo's on it, he's probably the best guy in that field. That, and I think he's, when it comes to equipment compared with Chris, he's driving a TC, with that car is not fucking made for drifting at all. It's not made to have a rear-wheel drive thing, and he's using a 4-cylinder compared to Chris's V8. So I feel like if you stuck Osbo in a car that was proven like an S14 or a 370Z, and with a nice strong V8 engine, the same level of equipment that Chris had, I feel like when Osbo is on it and he's on his game compared to when Chris is on his game, Osbo will walk all over Chris Forsberg. But since Chris has a better equipment, and Chris is just on it more than Osbo is. Chris is way more consistent. I think they're both very, very consistent. But you know, Chris only, I think he did podium in one event this whole year. But they're all both really good in their own right. And I'm not trying to insult Osbo because I know he's really, really big when it comes to the Norwegian drift scene. But they're both great in their own right. I just think Chris is more, a little bit more consistent, but Osbo is the better driver when he's, you know, everything clicks. Do you think we should play Cards Against Humanity again? Like this is, yeah, absolutely. You know, one day we played with me, Kona, Gunner, Dr. Tom. I don't know if Tom was there, but Aero 12 Gaming, Nick, Test Drive. One good subscriber of mine, RKD, was there. It was a lot of fun. It kind of gets ruined by trolls and gets ruined when we open the floor up to other people. Some people will come and just make dick jokes or just aren't funny. Some people judge really shitty and they'll pick like really bad cards. But for the most part, if you play for only an hour and a half, and you keep the game short and fast-paced, it's a lot of fun. Usually I do stream that, and next time if I do stream it, I might stream one over the holiday season here. I will for sure post that. So here's two questions. I think they're from the same guy. But what do you expect for 2015, and what goals do you have for 2015? What do I expect for 2015? Not a whole lot. I just hope that school goes well, and I hope that in the summer I don't work so much as to where I can get on this YouTube game hard. With the move this summer and finding work and whatever, I had a really hard time buckling down and getting, like, you know, 1 or 2 videos out a day. I just hope that at the end of the summer that maybe I can have enough money coming in from YouTube just to cover my internet bill a month, you know? That in its own would be cool. But yeah, I'm not gonna go in with any expectations, mostly because I had expectations when I came back in the summer, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get like 35,000 subs by the end of the year, and like I'll have just as many as those guys that are growing, like EK and whatever, and you know, everything will be back to normal, and it just didn't happen. You know, the shitty thing about YouTube is like once you lose your audience and once you lose that momentum, it is really hard to gain that back. So I have to do all the work all over again. You know, I may have to do some collaborations and stuff. I may have to get really on the social media game, but I need to get my momentum back. If I have any hopes of making this like a job, or not a job, but like a career, I guess you'd say. Not like a life career, but like, you know, as a main source of income. There you go. Do you have any plans for your channel in the future? Not at the moment. I just kind of want to keep riding this train. If I need, usually changes that I need to make really come off the top of my head going, oh no, you know, maybe I need to change this series. Maybe I need to, you know, switch the time I'm uploading things. Stuff like that. I kind of want to not focus on streaming, but to definitely stream a lot more, and see how that goes, because I do love streaming, and then I play any kind of game I want when I stream, right? So, so plans, no. I never have a plan, because plans never work. You kind of just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. But I'm just gonna keep having fun with it, you know. I'm not gonna try to work my ass off for nothing. I'm just gonna keep having fun. That's why you're only seeing uploads and videos when I have time. You know, if this was a job and I was working for it, and you know, and it was my main source of income and it was paying the bills, maybe that'd be different. Maybe I'd put some shit on the side to make sure YouTube videos were done. But at the moment, that's not how it is. That's not the case. But yeah, realistically, what do you think would be in a Forza Horizon 2 expansion if they decide to make more. I have no idea. I did not expect them to make another expansion, and I did not expect them to do another off-road one. So I'm just going to go off what I think is missing from the game, which is some canyon roads, some twisties, some windies. So maybe an Alps DLC would be cool. You know, it at least featured in the game by technicality. So maybe, you know, some Alps, which some narrow mountain roads, and something that really focuses on those, you know, supercars and hypercars that are in the game, because half of the game is off-road. You know what I mean? It feels kind of silly having all those Pagani's and Lamborghinis in the game, where those cars should not be realistically on that road surface. So it'd be cool to kind of see something like a Stelvio Pass or whatever. In my opinion, that'd be cool. What's my thoughts on electric cars? They're shit. I don't know. Right now they're shitty. I don't like electric cars. I still like having an engine and a throttle. I feel like if we're going to go, at the moment right now, I think hydrogen fuel is the way to go. I absolutely hate hybrids. I think it's the stupidest fucking thing in the world. If you're going to get an electric car, get an electric car. I think electric cars right now, like the Teslas and stuff, are way overhyped for what they are, and not practical. I do think that hydrogen is the way to go to keep, you know, to not change the formula of what we're doing, but still have the benefits of like a greener fuel source. You know, right now, if you're like, oh no, my car is like almost out of juice, you know, you have to go plug it in, and it takes what, like 4 or 5 hours, where if you have a gas engine, which is infinitely cheaper, you go to the gas station, fill it up, you know, for $50, but in less than 5 minutes. It's way more expensive, but I mean, like, you save 6-7 hours of your time, if not more than that. I know some cars take like 16-18 hours to charge, if you're not using one of those fancy charging stations, but not all of us live in fucking California. Yeah, I think slowly but surely hydrogen should at least be the way to go, if it's not the way that we're progressing. But yeah, that's it. That's all for now. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you want to submit your own questions, please do not do so in the comments. There is a link down below to my ASK.fm page. You don't need an account. You don't need to sign up for anything. You just go to the page, submit your question, click send, and then I will feature it in the next video, and I will also comment on what video your question was in if you ever want to go back and check. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry that this video was late. I also don't feel very well today. I got some scratchy throat and some head game going on, and I want to kind of nip that in the bud before Christmas. So I'm going to sleep again. My sleep schedule's fucked. But thanks guys very much for watching. Take care. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I also have a Facebook and a Twitter. For those links, be sure to check out the description box below.